pranams at your lotus feet. Thank you for giving me one more time this opportunity, Babaji. Babaji, shall I begin?
Yes, please.
So, Baba, today's topic is the mystery of existence. So, Baba, we all know that we exist, but where does we exist? Nobody knows, because we think our existence as a body, as this body which I recognize as I am, is my existence. But does this my real existence, or the existence is something else?
Yeah, it's very true that hardly anybody would know where do we exist, because the conscious awareness is on the body. So just
Yes, sir.
now, almost humans are aware that they are in this world as a human body. Themselves also they recognize with a name and this form and other identities like belonging to a place, belonging to some faith, belonging to this, having a status in the society, and that body's name. So when you
Yes.
call, their awareness will be on their physical body. But to know where we exist, one of the basic things the ancient sages understood is when we keenly observe that we know the truth. This was the first point they understood. Second point, they tried to ponder, so now where do we observe? Then they realized if we have to observe, it has to be the mind. Mind is the powerhouse. Mind is the one which is giving us the consciousness. So through the mind, if we have to observe, the mind needs to be free of its other observations. Just like we tell ki the mind is totally preoccupied observing the thoughts and visions that are in the mind, which are nothing but mind's imaginations. That
Yes,
was
sir.
how the sadhana or the meditation, what we call observing, attention to, perhaps came into existence since time immemorial. We don't know when it started, who actually started. We believe it came down from the divine. However, these are the points that anybody needs to ponder over. So then they have to get rid of all the thoughts and visions. Then they will be able to locate themselves where and how they exist will be possible. This is my experience.
So, Baba, is the existence is always in duality, or the existence happen without the duality? You know, I exist. I can only know because there is so many things around me. Means I exist because this body exists on this planet, and I have relations, friends, and they all exist on the same planet. So, and things around me, does the existence is based on the duality, or it doesn't need a second thing to exist?
It doesn't need a second ego existence, because the thing of existence that you are looking for is you yourself. That means you have to simply become aware of yourself. You won't be identifying anything else other than you as an existence. So the duality is not needed. Then you are not existing outside your real self also, actually. So
Yes.
thus the question of somebody else knowing something else doesn't arise. It ends there.
Yes, sir.
You have to become aware of yourself. That is why it is known as self-realization.
So, Baba, is existence and awareness are the same, or because of the awareness, the existence of I am as an individual is there?
You become aware of your existence. That means they both are not same. Existence is of the self, and becoming aware is of the self.
So, Baba, is awareness permanent, but the existence is not permanent? Am I?
Existence is permanent, actually. Awareness is not permanent, because just before the merger, you become aware. Once the actual merger of the mind with the self happens, the awareness also disappears. There is no need to become aware. It is you. You are in yourself. When you are away from yourself, you are searching for yourself. You are searching for a peace. These two, three things. One is you are searching for peace. Unknown to you, you are searching for yourself. Thus, so once you, as the second entity, that which is an ego, which really does not exist, in consciousness that merges with the self, there is peace, and there you are. So both disappears. You don't need to search for peace anymore, because you are peaceful now, and you don't need to become aware of anything, because you are yourself now.
Baba, I'm a little bit confused here. So, what is the source of my existence? Is it my recognition which gives strength to this existence, or it's always there? I am the one who is recognizing it as an individual self.
The source of existence is that self itself. It is always there. Simply, you had forgotten, or you have forgotten, because of your preoccupation with something else in consciousness. Thus, temporarily, an illusion has happened that you have forgotten yourself, and you are aware of something else that is not you, but it's your imagination.
Yes, Babaji. So, Baba, like you always say that this feeling of existence is always there, even while when we are in deep sleep. There is this sense of existence is always there. Means that sense of I doesn't disappear even when I am in a very deep sleep. And when I wake up, it means I can relate that it was me who experienced the deep sleep. So is this awareness which gives me the sense of existence, is it not the same thing which is like this conscious
Slightly, Wi-Fi seems to be unstable. Are you able to hear me?
I can, Babaji, yes, I can.
So now, you aware of yourself. That means a duality comes into existence. You
Yes.
becoming aware of yourself. That will stop when you totally settle back to yourself. You exist only in yourself. The same way as I tell, amongst millions of thoughts that are in the mind, means within you only. There is a consciousness of existence. That is a reality and not an imagined thing. Whereas
Yes.
the rest of the thoughts and visions are all imagined things that are in your mind, or in other words, that are in you. You can make them disappear if you don't hold on to it in your consciousness. Means keep playing your game with your own imagination, thus you don't allow the imaginations to disappear. By playing with your imagination, you sustain your imagination, and thus you become preoccupied with your imagination and forget the truth of your existence, and
Yes, Baba.
unnecessarily you experience stress, fear, insecurity, and so on. and the loss of peace and contentment happens.
Baba, I understand. Baba, mind always stays in duality. Means means it's never ever in the present. It always either, like you say, it always either in the past or in the future. It never in the present. And so, Baba, what is the actually source? Where does this mind has come from, and what is its existence?
Mind is actually you. Simply when you are imagining, the thoughts are there. Because thoughts are there, a separation has temporarily appeared, and thus you have recognized it as mind. Means you
Yes.
have recognized yourself separately as a mind. You always address it, my mind. I want to do it. Both simultaneously sometimes keep going. I want to go and come back. I want to go to the town. It is actually your mind which is wanting to go to the town. You tell
Yeah.
ki my mind wants to go there. So thus you see both are same actually. But a temporary illusion has happened because you have started thinking. The moment you have started thinking, thoughts appear on the screen of you. Screen is the self, which is infinite, which is not visible. Thus, the self is not visible and the mind is also not visible. If you remember in my talks and teachings, I keep telling you cannot show where the mind is. You cannot
Yes.
show what is your mind, what is its color, what is its shape. Nobody has seen it in naked eyes. Not possible. Simply you recognize based on thoughts and visions. You call my mind, but where is this mind also? You don't know. This is what trying to locate in meditation. While trying to locate, you go on observing. While observing, slowly you become quiet. Means thoughts and visions disappear. Then you are there. Then also you will simply experience that self is all pervaded. It is wherever you try to move your consciousness, you will see you are there. As long as the separation is there before merger, I'm talking. Once the merger happens, you have merged with the all pervaded and you are that all pervaded and there is no second entity. So the awareness also disappears and you are there.
So, Baba, for somebody very ordinary who doesn't means who have never experienced this state of just being, like you say, you are saying that there is no awareness, you just exist. So, for someone like me, I can't say that because I am not existing in just means I'm not existing nowhere. And same time, my mind, I can't say that my mind is full of thoughts, and I'm not my only thoughts. I'm an entity, means which I recognize as myself. So how do you say that my mind is a bundle of thoughts, but I am not those thoughts. I exist. I exist. So is this existence, this feeling of my existence, is my source of entity?
Yeah, the feeling of existence is the source of entity, but you are imagining that feeling of existence as something else, like, for example, body, and if it is a name with Ambaji, any
Yeah.
such thing, for everybody I'm talking. So, like that, you are identifying yourself because you are confused and you don't know who you are. Means
Yes.
consciously you are not aware and you
Mhm.
are not merged with the self also. Consciously, you are out of your real self because you are into imaginations, and that is why thoughts and visions are there, which is making you unhappy, making you to go into cravings and making you to be unhappy always. The contentment doesn't come, the peace doesn't descends.
Yes. So Baba, what means you constantly saying this awareness, what is this awareness is? And how can I be aware of that also?
Existence is the only awareness, consciousness of existence. That is the nearest clue that I can tell or give you.
So
That
Baba,
is what
is your
here. See, when
Sorry.
you meditate, close the eyes. I instruct just keep watching in between eyebrows. Means you should not imagine, you should not try to analyze, do not make any judgment. Always mind wants to analyze and make a judgment. That means it is egoistic.
Yes.
Egoistic means it wants to show that it knows everything about the thought. It doesn't know what the thought is. Simply, it is imagining. That's why we call one man's food is another man's poison. It thinks ki this is wrong, so that is its imagination. It thinks ki this is right, that is its imagination. It thinks ki this is good, that is its imagination. That is bad, it is its imagination. All are appearing simply because of imagination. In spite of that, you are not obtaining a permanent peace. That means there is something wrong in your visualization. If you stop that one and the peace descends, peace, because you are already peaceful, because you only are trying to unnecessarily jump into the air, you lose peace. You just sit down quietly. That's what the master says, means to the mind.
Yeah.
Make the mind just quiet. You will be peaceful. You don't need anything else for your peace. You give anything, you give the empireship of the entire universe, it will not sit quietly. It will seek more. It will seek more. It will not be contented. It wants more powerful. The moment it imagines there can be something else that is more powerful, then it goes into craving. We need to become more powerful. If you see this world and its history, people trying to become more and more powerful, one against the other, one above the other, they go into such competition. Generally, we call it as a Cold War. You know, the
Yes.
world recognizes it because everybody wants to be more powerful, increasing power, increasing power. So they don't have peace, they are insecure.
So, Baba, it's very amazing to me whenever you say that your existence, and at the same time you say, so when I'm aware of my existence and this consciousness which gives me this awareness, is my consciousness and your consciousness are two different things, or it's just a one single mass which exists?
Mind are two different things because consciousness coming in touch with the brain's reflections, registering that reflection in itself, in appearance, it has become different, but actually not different. It is the same.
Yep.
Just like the space inside the earthen pot and the space inside a drum is all the same.
Yes.
Simply
Yeah.
from outside, you may tell, no, the space is of drum shape. Another says, no, the space is of round earthen pitcher shape. It doesn't make any sense for the knowledgeable, for the wise person will laugh at both of them. That's what some people sometimes tell. Some people want to put God in a box.
Yes, yes, Baba. It's beautiful, Babaji. Thank you. One more thing here, it clears me that when you gave this example of one consciousness exists everywhere, like a one mass exists in this cosmos or in this space. So, Baba here that says that you are aware that you exist and your existence is permanent, whereas my existence, I'm just thinking that my existence has come into the into the appearance, and one day I'll die and my existence will come to an end. So So that means it's my mind which is in illusion and does not allow me to experience my permanent existence.
Yeah, just like you are the dweller inside the house.
Yes.
Instead of being aware that you are that one, you are imagining house as yourself. And thus
Yes.
you are scared. The house can easily be destroyed. And you are scared and insecure that you are going to die. Something
Yes.
like that. It has happened. You are thinking the body is you. Body will definitely die, perish, because it has appeared and it will have to disappear. Anything that has appeared will disappear. Entire universe, even the world, sun, moon, anything, everything will all disappear. All the lords of the 14 worlds, as Kabir Das telling, everything will disappear except for that one single self that is all pervaded. It has no destruction because it has never appeared. It always was like that only. You try to make a space appear, ask any scientist, any technologist, any engineers, anybody to build space. They
Yes.
can build giant machines. They can build giant dams, amazing engineering wonders, so many things. An emperor can build his empire, expand his empire, but let him build a space. Space is already there. Nobody needs to build the space. The world needs to be built because if the world gets destroyed, somebody will have to create the world. Some power, some consciousness, something. So that's what happens. But the space doesn't need anybody to produce the space. It's always there.
So Baba, even if I go onto the Mars or Moon or any other planet, if I don't have my mind under my control, I'll be always unhappy.
Everywhere, anywhere. It is the mind becoming peaceful is what gives you peace. Means, in a simple sentence and terminology, if you are peaceful, you have peace. If you are not peaceful, you have no peace. That is all the simple. Not that if you don't have a house, you are not peaceful. If you don't have an empire, you are peaceful. No, you get a house, again, some trouble starts, lose your peace. Somebody
Yes.
should not rob you. Somebody should not come and occupy your house.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what keep
So,
worrying. We leave the ashram behind and come to another ashram. If we keep worrying, what if somebody occupies that ashram? Then we lose peace. We
that's
are
right.
at peace because we have peace and we are peaceful. Because neither I own this ashram nor I own the other ashram. So nothing I own. So I don't have to worry actually. Though I will try to stop unwanted elements to occupy because that ashram my guru established so that the spiritual seekers can come, sit and meditate. Like here also in front of me in this ashram, some 6, 7 people, spiritual seekers, serious meditators are sitting. Instead of them, if some alcohol drunkards want to come and sit here, I cannot allow them because this place is not meant for them. It is
Yes,
meant
right.
for spiritual seekers. That is all our effort will be. Other than that, we will not lose our peace, our contentment. That's what I'm trying to tell.
So Baba is the means coming means deviating a little bit. Is the human beings are the most vulnerable because we are always dance according to our own emotions, and our emotions control our entire mind, and according to different emotion, when the emotion is goes into the past, we start thinking about the past and start feeling sad what happened. When the emotion goes into the future, we start worrying what's going to happen in the future. So do you think that if I have more awareness, more constant awareness into my present, I'll be much more happy about it.
Yeah, you see, in my opinion, not simply human beings, it can be with other creatures also. Many
Oh,
places we may not be knowing. If we observe some of the animals in front of us, any cow or anything, when it gives birth to its calf, for a while that mother can be so emotional. And when the calf is crying for the mother when it is hungry, the animals can be emotional for a while. But humans are generally much more emotional than other creatures, probably, because we have well developed brain and which generates the emotions in the mind. So even after we fill up our belly, still we remain emotional. We don't feel satisfied. You fill up your pocket with the money, still you remain emotional. You are not satisfied. You own house in every town and city, still you are not satisfied. If one more house you can occupy somebody's and grab, you would like to grab. I mean, that is human nature, I'm telling. Why? Humans have become so greedy. They don't have satisfaction because they don't have control over their mind. They simply don't depend on body urges only. After the body urges trouble, they have left their minds uncontrollably dance. That is what has happened since time immemorial, or at least in this life, a human hardly pays any care to control the mind, to take control of the mind. Just like you have a car, and always you would like to have it under your control. You know that very well, otherwise it can crash and it can be disastrous for you. But this body we neglect, and mind totally we never bother. During our youth or young age, we are so arrogant. Oh, I don't need any meditation. I don't need any spirituality. My mind is strong and I am so focused and I can achieve so much distinction in my exam, everything. But by the time you start facing challenge, you have dreams about your life. When you adopt a particular way of life, when things doesn't happen according to your dream, something else happens, because nothing is guaranteed in this world. Because it is, you are not the only one actor in this world. There are millions and billions of actors are there. Everybody will act upon according to their wishes, their selfishness. They won't bother your emotions. They will bother their own emotions. That is how clashes happen amongst human beings, between human beings. And this is what happened. So that is the reason is we have not bothered to keep our mind under our control, restrained. Always when I talk of control, not that somebody else will control. We have to bother to keep our mind under our control. That means we have to bother to keep ourselves under our control, not allow it to dance to its own tunes.
Baba, you always say that when you make a judgment, uh, your judgment can be your illusion. So, means it's not 100%. My judgment cannot be true all the time because I'm judging. It's my truth, but it's not necessarily the 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 permanent or the real reality. So every time I make a judgment, that means I'm going away from my existence, or I'm just dancing on again on my emotions and making my judgments.
You are simply dancing according to your emotions. The mind is making you to dance to its tunes. You don't have control over your mind. You are unable to apply proper wisdom. Say, for
Yes,
example, applying a wisdom and having the mind under control. Say you don't know outsiders or others. You know only your mind for a while. You don't know
yes,
the mind of others. Who will be your friend and who will be your enemy, who will stab you from back and who will protect you. You don't know actually.
yes.
Even you might expect somebody and something else might happen. But for this, instead of bothering about others, If you bother about yourself, prepare yourself, strengthen your defense strength, so that
Yes, yeah.
nobody, no power should be able to attack you mentally. When you gain the knowledge of your real self, anybody can attack your physical body, but you will realize no power can attack you as that real self. That's what Sri Krishna talking in Bhagavad Gita advises Arjuna, no weapon can slay that and no fire can burn. Who can burn the space? Who can slay the space? Which nuclear bomb can destroy the space? They can boast of a nuclear bomb of destroying another country, but can they destroy the space? One day they will also get destroyed, but the space will always be there. But when you realize you are that space,
Yes, Babaji. As it means, I understand this point of being aware of my permanent existence. But this life means any life does matter. As a body, it does matter. Means it's a human life or even an animal. The life in that species does matter. We can't say that okay, it doesn't matter. It's just a body. We can't say that because every single being has that's the same consciousness, same existence, and like you said, it's the same consciousness operates in different individuals, so every life does matter. But what I'm trying to say here, Baba, that having this value for every life at the same time, if we get this awareness that me as a permanent existence is not gonna disappear. So,
yeah,
am I
I
understanding
understand.
right, Baba?
Yeah, what's your question is? You see, say I have realized the self, but still, if anybody tries to harm the physical body, we will try to defend. That
Yes.
itself doesn't mean that I am too attached to the body. If for some reason the body has to go, let it go. I won't be worried too much. But we will defend because this body is needed to be in this world. Through this body only I can teach this truth. Through this
Yes.
body only I can inspire people. I can communicate with you. Without this body, if you are asking a question, I won't have been able to answer the question at all.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. In this world, it matters, but that doesn't mean that without this body, we cannot exist and we cannot have any peace or happiness at all. That I am going to hold on to my body like this. It's not possible. That's what we have to realize. Ultimately, this body is impermanent. One day it will go. 50 years ago, as a 20-year-old boy, I came to my guru's ashram. It's going to be 50 years. That means this body has become 70 years, as we have been watching. When we see in the mirror, this has become old with white hairs. That is natural. It has to happen. We are not bothered, worried. But we will try to take care. We will give some food. Simply because it has become 70 years, we will stop eating. Not necessary. Because in my mind, there is no attachment. The day it has to go, it will go on its own. I don't have to put any effort at all because it is nature. It is button is pressed already that this body will die one day. So why should I bother about anything? Simply I will try to protect. That's how one has to go. Means while we try to teach out the self, we are not this body. One should not misunderstand that we should not care or we should not bother about this world or this world. We should dream that we will build a better world. We will build a better, peaceful world, peace for all. We should dream that all humanity learn to live for each other, consider about each other, let conflicts come to an end. At least let us dream. There is no charges. You don't have to spend dollars. At least let us dream. Let us try to talk. 7 people sitting here, 144 people sitting here. I would like to convey to them, all of you, sincerely meditate and look after your mind that it is not corrupted. Only every individual you can look after that your mind is not corrupted. Others may not understand. One may not understand the other's mind, but every individual, you will know your mind. You protect. But if you allow it to become corrupted, you are a condemned person. For 55,000 life cycles that Swamiji used to tell, you will undergo in all species and you will be unhappy, you will be stressed out, you will lose your peace because you will always be greedy, food, idiot. That's what will happen. Instead of that, if you realize yourself, you are always at peace. This is possible to achieve through the sadhana meditation.
So, Baba, purification of the mind does lead you to consider every single being around you, and you can live more happily and peacefully. Am I right?
Yeah. You see, it is my experience. If you sincerely meditate, you purify your mind, means your consciousness overcomes all corruptedness, selfish and narrow-mindedness. If at all when it thinks of a larger cause. We dreamt, I never wanted any individual home for myself. We wanted to, when devotees wanted to give some donation, we said we will build ashram where everybody can come. If it is an individual's house, people will hesitate to come. Because it's ashram, Babaji will give darshan in the evening. Anybody is welcome. Everybody can come. That's what we have to tell. So that is our dream for everybody, universal. I don't have any one family blood that I will allow only this family blood and no others should not come. There is no such thing. Reservation. Anybody who is a serious seeker can come. That's what you will always think of a larger cause. You will not be narrow-minded. Anybody doing very good, achieving wonderful thing without any reservations, whether they are your relatives, friend or not a friend, not a relative, you will appreciate. Even if it's a worst enemy, you will definitely appreciate if there is any good in them. There was a person who always disliked me, criticized me, never wanted. Whenever I spoke about that person, I tried to speak good things that was in that. He was equally talented also, but he is selfish, narrow-minded, want to destroy others. Such corruptions are there. But always we try to appreciate whatever good was in that. So like that, we try to see good. But when it comes, if they exhibit bad things, we will have to be careful. That's what Ramakrishna said. If you think of Narayana in a tiger, be careful about that Narayana. If you go in front of that, it will maul and eat you up, finish you. You have to be careful. If it is a cunning, crooked person, careful. He might be backstabbing you, careful. Defend yourself, don't allow. He might disturb your mission work. He might try to destroy your ashram, careful. Like this, we have to go in this world. But our own consciousness will not be corrupted. We don't try to occupy anybody else's land. We don't need. If it is our guru's land, we will take care of that. If other authorities want us to get out of that property, we will simply get out, handing over that property to them. Like that, we have to be upholding human values. That means if everybody can sincerely meditate, sincerely, provided they sincerely meditate, they can overcome all corruptedness. So imagine if all humanity can meditate, if they can overcome corruption, everybody will be happy. So when there is no need for any conflict, there is no place for a conflict. That's it.
Baba, again, going a little away from this existent thing, my existence brings desires in me. My existence as an individual brings lots of desires in me. And sometimes when those desires get fulfilled, I'm happy. When those desires doesn't get fulfilled, I get frustrated, I get angry, and sometimes I start blaming others because my desires are not getting fulfilled. what I want is I'm not getting. So I start blaming other people and I start seeing the truth in that also. Means I'm fooling myself and try to fool everyone around me that see this is what happened. So this drama by my own emotions, how to overcome that?
The source is simply you have forgotten yourself and you have identified yourself as something else, and you are trying to fulfill the wishes of that something else. You are trying to give peace and happiness and contentment to that something else, which will never get satisfied. Always, if you have seen something of your wishes in this world happen, it is only temporary, it is not a permanent. Say you wanted a house, you get a house, then your peace is not going to remain permanently. Or sometime you are happy, you are excited, you will do housewarming, you will invite your friends, and you do everything. And then after everybody goes, then your mind starts craving for something else. It jumps again because you have identified wrongly about yourself with the wrong thing, that is the body. You have forgotten your real self. If you know your real self, you are always contented, you are happy. Nobody can rob your happiness at all because there is no need for your existence. See, this formula, this technology, science, anything you want to know, as long as you don't need anything, you are happy. For this, my guru used to tell sometime, by your desires, you become a beggar. If you are contented, you are like an emperor. When you don't need anything, nobody can bend you downwards. If you need something, you have to beg somebody something. So that's what we realize. If we meditate, we can overcome this. All these problems we can overcome. You have a desire, but you will have acceptance. If it doesn't happen, it's okay, no problem. A portion of our ashram was taken away by others. We want it to come back. If it doesn't happen, for that I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to worry. It's okay. If I did this, I have nothing to lose. But I want to do my duty as a servant of my guru.
Baba, again going back to the same existence thing, you know, the story from the Yoga Vashishta, where Leelavati is crying, seeing her husband's body. Her husband has passed away. But then Saraswati takes the Leelavati, you know, goddess Saraswati appears and takes the Leelavati to a different plane and shows her that your husband is here, and here he has a different wife, different children, but at the same time, for the same husband. So, does it possible, or is just a story? It means to give us this understanding, this illusion is created by me, or does this can happen in this consciousness that I can be existing on Mars also?
You see, let us leave this aside for a while and go for a practical approach. Almost all of us would have lost a beloved one sometime, a parent, a grandparent, or anybody. Where are they now? We might be worried about them, we might be crying for them, we might be emotional for them, but where are they? We don't know where are they. When we don't know where are they, then where do we cry? And that body is here. As a young boy, Ramana Maharshi said this, when his uncle was dead, everybody were crying. See the knowledge and wisdom. He said, if this body is our uncle, this body is here, why are you crying? You keep this body. If it is not this body, something else, then that also we don't know. And we don't know anything about that uncle, why should we cry? Give a benefit of doubt in which life there are, in which birth they have taken or not taken. but they have not come back to talk to us. Our grandparents have never come back. Oh, you are my grandchild. You have become a yogi. That's wonderful. They have never, nobody has come back to tell me that. You don't know where they are. So, like that, see the practical approach. This is the truth that is in front of us. So, that is here, the story is told just to tell how time and space are imagination. Whatever we imagine, we get to see that thing. That body of the husband was there, but the soul has departed. It had become unconscious of the body. Now she thought her husband is dead. The body was a dead body. She was crying for that one. But that soul which had left the body, she didn't know where it had gone. To show that, Lila, goddess Saraswati showed it, this is your husband. After leaving this body, he is here. Just to teach her the lesson that it's all illusion what you are imagining. You need to overcome this sadness. Because a thing about which you don't know, a thing about which that your husband doesn't remember you anymore. All the departed ones, they don't remember. Otherwise, when we were suffering, when we were hungry, they would have come back. Grandmother would have come with milk, rabdi, something. Oh, my grandchild, please eat, you are hungry. But nobody came. That is the practical approach. That is the truth in front of us. That means that is the truth. That's what has been tried to tell through this story. For a thing which you don't know, unnecessarily you are suffering.
So, Baba, coming back again to the same thing. So, this time and space, they are same or they are two different things? Time and space are different, or time and space are the same and they exist in itself, or they are in duality?
Actually, they are same. And in our teachings, as we tell, time and space are imaginations. There is a reason. Mind is a thing that we have imagined, whereas the mind itself exists, but the things that have been imagined in the mind does not exist. Whereas time does not exist on its own, but for which we consider a time, a difference between appearance and disappearance, we call it the time.
Yes.
That time exists.
That's
But
how
that
we
is
calculate.
imagination for our sake of understanding. Thus, both are imaginations, but both are same. That time and
Yes.
mind are simply space. Space is also, the word space is imagination, because when I tell space, some criteria might strike your mind. That is not true. Just take it as it is, tattva, that. What you get to see, this, that is truth. This is in front of us, this is truth. But what it is, you don't know, because you have not experienced. You have not tried to observe properly. You are observing your thoughts and vision. Just get rid of that. The secret will be revealed. Amazing secret will be revealed of what this is.
This is my last question, Baba. So my last question is, that means the existence is beyond time and space also?
Yes, because both time and mind are imaginations, time and space. This we call is the void place in between two hands is known as space. That is imagination. We are trying to limit. Simply, that is not the space. Space is simply all pervaded. That's so wonderful. It's everywhere, you know. So that's why we tell time and space are imaginations. The self is the truth. The all pervaded is the truth.
It's amazing, Baba. It's really hair-raising, even just listening this topic, that how my existence is so secure and permanent. It just gives me so much like goosebumps on my skin, that it's so beautiful to hear this truth. Baba, can we take the permission to open it for the for the
Yes,
public?
yes, definitely.
Yes.
Yes.
As we, listening to this conversation, those thoughts come up, questions come into mind. And so I had some interesting ones I wrote some down. It's, if there is no birth or death for soul consciousness, where is there the place for rebirth? Or is all of the experience of the soul a play or drama? And why would we, the soul, would want to play this game of birth and death?
Yeah. Let me answer this question. Consciousness doesn't get born. But however, when there is imagination, you get to see as if you are born and you are going to die. It is the physical body which is always born and which dies. Watching the physical body being born, you start considering that you are born. And the physical body is going to die, you start thinking that you are going to die. That is how things happen. Actually, consciousness itself is not born ever. That is the truth. This will be revealed when you meditate and clear your mind. And as long as the imagination is there, you will get to see the birth and death. Just like when imagination is there in your mind, based on the imagination only this world appears to you, either as a good or a bad, like that.
So why would we want to come to play that game? That was the second part
Nobody
of that
asked you. Nobody asked you to come. You wanted to come and you came. I'm jokingly, but I'm telling you the reason. Because you left your mind uncontrollably to go as it wished instead of trying to control since time immemorial. That is why in this life, a teacher has come to you and asking you to practice to control your mind so that you don't have to be reborn again. You don't have to go into such thoughts, unnecessarily putting you into trouble. Even now there is time. You practice meditation, overcome all thoughts, then you won't be running from pillar to pillar, life after life, life after life. It is still possible. Whatever has happened till now, it has happened. Forget about it. At least in the future, you can stop being born again. If this makes any sense, practice meditation. Yeah, please come in.
Namaste, Babaji.
Yeah.
I want to ask this continuation of the same question, what you were discussing before. If all of our consciousness and everything and anything is the same, then why we have to be, first of all, physically here? And what are we trying to achieve by physically present? If it's everything the same, and what is the purpose of all this?
Yeah, though it is the same, because through the brain's reflection, you have developed a different way of imagining. That's why you feel the difference. Once you overcome this imagining, that difference also disappears and you will get to see the only one. Just like I was explaining, the space inside the drum, the space inside the earthen pot is all the same. Once you realize this, this is also the space, this is also the space, it cannot be different. But they both space starts differently thinking because of some reason, they start feeling the difference. The space inside the earthen pot starts calling, hey, you are a drum, you are a drum. A drum calls the space that is inside the earthen pot, you are earthen pot. That is what has happened to all of everyone who are here. So to overcome this only, spiritual exercises are taught, particularly meditation, so that eventually you can get rid of all imagination and realize this self, realize it is one single self that exists, that will be possible.
I have one more question, Babaji. The continuation of same thing what we were discussing earlier. we all have a lot of emotions, and first of all, why this mind is creating that sense of emotion, anger, love, whatever it is, guilt. There are so many different emotions we have that all is it's a kind of imagination of our own mind. First of all, why this emotions, and why as a human being we feel this as this intense emotions, and how to transcend beyond that emotions and trying to realize ourselves.
First, it is not the mind which is generating all these emotions. It is the brain which is generating and reflecting. Brain is in touch with the world, universe. Through the nervous system, sensory organs, it receives messages. That is why we always tell, brain can be a very good servant, but a very bad master. Whatever it reflects, the mind catches that reflection, registers in itself, and becomes a victim of the brain's reflections. Thus, it becomes engulfed with all these emotions, unwanted, which is not in the mind. Mind is a pure consciousness, actually. So, this can be overcome by practicing mind control exercises like meditation. Meditation is a mind control, means you are able to control yourself. You will not allow your mind or yourself to become a victim of the brain's reflection. You'll be able to apply wisdom in a proper way. This is not necessary. This anger is not necessary. This can be harmful to me. And this greed is not necessary. I just have to work for my need only. Like that, you are able to rectify all the faults. So when you control your mind, will be possible. You can overcome, definitely. All you have to understand and try. That is why spiritual exercises, religious exercises are always taught. But people have misunderstood about religion, misused them in wrong way. It is all the three things: control your body through proper exercises, keep it healthy, using the body, control your mind and try to keep it healthier so that it overcomes. And that is also the reason ancient sages spoke about 6 enemies of the mind. Arishadvarga, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Extreme greed, extreme anger, and extreme attachment to materialistic things, and extreme stinginess, extreme false pride, extreme jealousy. These things are 6 enemies. Whoever has got in their mind, the mind becomes the casualty they warn. Practice sadhana so that you can overcome these things. Keep your mind as a pure consciousness so that these things shall not bother. Even the brain reflects. You reject them. You exercise proper wisdom. Learn how to use the brain properly to live happily in this world will be possible if you practice meditation sincerely. God bless you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Babaji. In this world are now 8 billion people plus animals. Is it now right to think the pure consciousness, the self, is one existence, but there are in this world 8 billion different minds? Is that what differentiates us from us? Or?
It has become 8 million different minds because 8 million different brains.
Yeah.
And its reflections, the consciousness becoming a victim and taking that shape. That's why the different appears. For example, in your mind, so many characters and stories will be there. But mind is one.
Yeah.
Yet so many characters, so many temperaments, so many stories appear within one mind.
Yeah.
Why? It is the same consciousness in all the characters, but they are behaving in different way. One character in your mind is behaving like a hero, another character behaving like a villain, but mind is the same. It is one Hans mind.
Yeah.
That is because of imagination. So coming in contact with the brain, mind going into such imagination has created such differences.
Yeah.
We are killing ourselves. We are harming ourselves.
Yeah.
When you understand and when you realize the self, it is so painful sometimes. The same consciousness is trying to kill the same consciousness. The same consciousness is trying to harm the same consciousness. It is one consciousness which is harming each other and undergoing all good and bad, happiness and unhappiness, unwantedly, unnecessarily. This is all happening.
And our illusion is that we just don't recognize that we are actually one thing, or
Exactly.
thank
When
you.
you try to harm other, you are harming yourself actually.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Pranams, Babaji. Babaji, in the same theme, what is Maya and how is it different than visions and dreams?
You see, there is no particular definition for Maya, but generally, in my opinion, a thing that which does not exist appears to be existing. That which does exist appears not to be existing. That is illusion. A basic definition we can try to understand. Because of illusion, you don't know this, you know what you don't have to know. Like that is what has happened. What was the other point?
Other point, how is it different than dreams and visions? So in our mind, there are examples of saying that people who were into mind control and did huge practice did also delve into the sting of Maya. And it's different than dreams and visions because they experience it to be very true and they ruin their practice.
A same dream is when the brain goes to sleep, it is into minimum active. That's why it creates a short time story. As long as you are asleep, that dream comes. As long as it is there, it appears to be true. So this happens, though there is no conclusive answer, certain various reasons, depending on the food quality, the blood that is supplied to the brain, and the mind's collision with the brain creates such a dream, and the mind again catches that dream. If the mind is not controlled properly through practice of tapas, then it starts considering that dream to be a true and starts wondering about that dream. It will not ignore. It is unable to forget that dream. Why did this happen? What is the meaning of that dream? Is it saying something about the future? All these things all happens. And the visions are when you are in the awakened state, because your mind is not under control. Brain is constantly reflecting. Fuel for the brain is blood and oxygen on one side. Mind's application is also a strong fuel. If you are able to withdraw the mind through the practice of meditation, then the reflections of the brain also decreases. It is brought to a minimum level. Your mind will not become a victim. So what is important is your mind must not become a victim of the brain's reflection. It should be able to exercise wisdom, what you need to take in this world, what you don't have to take. This wisdom comes by practice of meditation. When you overcome all corruptions of the mind, purify your mind into pure consciousness, you will be able to exercise better, larger cause, better understanding about all such things. For example, somebody complains about me, but you know me since childhood. That's more than 20 years. Somebody comes and says, Babaji is very wrong person. He is not self-realized. He is not a saint. He is a womanizer. He collects lot of money. He has so much of money all over the room. Somebody comes and tells. If you take it in face value and believe, you are a fool. For 20 years you know me. Do you need somebody else to tell about me? Like I also know you. I don't need anybody else to tell what Kriti is. That is the application of wisdom example I am trying to tell. We should not become a victim of somebody trying to fool us. So thus it will be possible when you practice meditation and purify your mind, it will not become a victim of the brain's reflections. Thus, brain can be a very good servant, but a very bad master.
See, Babaji. Babaji, can we say that, say, while reading this through, Sage Vashist said, coined a term called no mind. So when we control our mind, no mind, like when we are into consciousness, then it is equivalent to no mind.
Yeah, you see, when there are thoughts and visions in the consciousness, that comes to be known as mind. If the visions and thoughts are removed, you overcome, you purify, then it becomes to be known as consciousness for sake of understanding. When it is pure, consciousness means it is pure, not yet corrupted in any way. There are no thoughts, no imaginations.
Got it. Thank you, Babaji.
In the context of existence, is everything is predetermined, like actually where we have to born and to whom with we have in the relationship, and what is the level of consciousness and the karma aspects. Are we have any control over that one, or it will be according to the predetermined way only it will go?
See, two things. One is, it's very difficult and impossible to find a conclusive answer as to when it started. However, from previous lives, it is coming. Every time you are born, you visualize in your mind. That's why we try to teach. If you can be more positive in your visualization of every thought, if you are not negative, then you can shape a better positive destiny for yourself in future lives. If at all you have to think of the good, think of the divinity, think of yourself as that Atman, then you can shape a positive destiny for yourself. And if you are negative, you can shape a negative destiny for itself. This is one point. Another point, if you have observed your mind, it gets into both type of thoughts, both positive and negative. It imagines sometimes as if you are suffering and you are want sympathies from other, and that also the mind enjoys as a story. Sometimes it imagines that if it is winning over and that it enjoys, like both it gets involved. This is the nature of the mind to get involved into duality. That is the reason how the destiny gets built up in due course of time. Whatever you are undergoing in life is the previous life's visualization. But it's impossible to tell when it started or when it began. That's why masters advise always, as soon as possible, try to get rid of your imaginations so that you can realize yourself and get rid of these imaginations and these destinies you have to undergo, to whom you are to be born, or to whom you will have a relationship, where you will enjoy, where you will suffer, where who will be friend with you, who will backstab you. So many things keep happening in your life. It is all a puzzle. When did I imagine, you would wonder? But mind imagines all such things and it undergoes the same thing. Like this world appears to you based on your own imaginations. Based on that, you will suffer mentally or you will overcome any suffering. You have peace. These things happens. This is what is part of illusion. The reason is, but what you can do is, you can stop your future if you don't want to undergo all these dualities of suffering, born, died, born, died. If you think it is senseless and you want to get rid and get liberated, that is what you go back to your real self. You are that immortal, eternal soul. It is possible. If it makes sense for you. Blessings to you.
So karma is mostly in the brain and the body. Is karma in the mind?
Yeah, the mind absorbs in the doership. When you undertake a karma through your body, mind absorbs that I am doing this. That is how the karma happens, whether it is good or bad. So if at all you want to act through the body, act as a good person always. Then your mind will absorb the good things. It will become good. That is the karma. Got it?
Yes.
Namaskara, Babaji.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not related to the topic of today. I have read that Swamiji used to come in Bhava Samadhi. So I just wanted to know whether have you had experience or you've met people who've had experience, and how is the experience of that?
Swamiji himself never said that he will come on any other physical body to talk to anybody, but he gave people, blessed people to go into Bhava Samadhi for a specific reason, that they would be able to experience of a higher energy power that exists, divinity. Then he used to advise them to go into meditation to realize the self. For that purpose only, he tried to bless people to go into Bhava Samadhi. That has been misunderstood. Many people misused it. All these things happening. But Swamiji himself never told that he will be coming on any physical body to communicate in any way. It's different thing. It depends on the faith of a person. It need not be. Swamiji is everywhere. He is all pervaded in all hearts. You believe that Swamiji is in your heart. He is in your heart, and you will get the answer within you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste, Babaji. My question regarding to meditation. When I did Siddhana, I feel some dual body. My face goes like this, and these things happens whenever I under some kind of fear inside me to stop me to sit for longer for meditations. These problems in meditations in sittings might occur during this period when I am feeling.
Slowly you can overcome this. If anything such happen, you can get up, wash your face a little bit, and remember my Guru Shiva Balayogi. Pray to him and again sit down. Try to, if necessary, you try to sit on to the wall with a pillow or a cushion. Try to keep your back and neck straight and practice like that, and in due course of time it will be all right. As the meditation picks up in a better way, Swamiji will bless you. You will be all right.
And one more thing, Babaji, how much it take times to realize self? It a particular period or time period when we realize self, or
You see, say for example, there is a course for 3 years, a college course, a university course. I'm giving you an example. It is a 3-year course, but in that 3 years, sincerely you have to study, and then you will be able to perform well in the examination. Then the course will be over. Otherwise, the course will not be over. In the same way, if you understand the technique that we are teaching and sincerely practice according to the technique, then sooner you can have the realization. Maybe within few years, you will be able to. But if it is not, it can linger on for many years. So first important, you need to be sincere, understand the technique, and practice according to the technique. Then progress will happen. Don't bothering always, when will it be over, when will it be over. Simply go on doing. It will soon happen one day. Have that faith.
Thank you, Babaji.
Pranav, Babaji.
Yes.
Babaji, my question is, consciousness and self are the same?
Yes, same. Self is, just to give a clue, that is a supreme consciousness. Actual self is like that. Whatever consciousness of existence is there, that is the actual self. Eventually you will realize that when you practice meditation.
So one more question, Babaji. before coming to this 2 months back only, I came to know this our Shiva Bala Yogi, and I visited you. And before that, we may have some gurus or some we followed previously. What should I do? I have to continue with that, or I have to discontinue that one?
There is no conflict. If you have an inclination, you can try to do that also. Either before this meditation or after the meditation, simply don't combine with it. And it will be beneficial, helpful to control the mind. And it will help in this meditation also. It's no problem.
So is it okay 2-3 gurus or only one guru we must have?
No, it is no problem to having 2 gurus, but never get confused with one's teachings comparing to the other. All are same.
Thank you. Thank you, Babaji.
Babaji, namaste.
Yes.
I have been practicing like 10-15 days. Here, eyebrow meditation. Some headache came. So, is it all right to continue that?
Headaches, you see, do not try to force too much. Gently close your eyes and gently keep watching the front portion, because eyeballs easily doesn't come into one direction. It moves parallelly like this. So you just watch the front portion. In due course of time, slowly it will come to between eyebrows. If you force, then this headache can happen. Without forcing, you gently watch, and the headache will be over. It won't come again.
Yes, in this world, then when there are so many obstacles in this world, Babaji, so how do we progress in this spiritual path? There are like people are, I won't name anybody, but then people are, creating problems in other lives, like due to their self-interest, and then the conflicts arise, even though when we are not doing harm to others. How do we walk on our own journey, It is
You
so
see,
difficult.
you need to have faith, total faith in God. Self-confidence, don't give up that one. That faith is important. That will sustain and help you. God will definitely help you. Always pray to God to show you the right path and protect you. You will be protected. God will definitely help you. My blessing. Yeah.
Bhavya, namaskar. So, just taking your example of a space in the pot, I had a question on that. So, once we realize that the space in the pot is same as the other space around it, once the pot breaks, does our consciousness retain our individuality, or just like air merges with air, water merges with water, space merges with space,
No
we are merged with?
there, it will merge with the ultimate truth.
And then, so then our deities who also realized probably that they're the same space, how are they able to maintain their own individuality? Or just like, as you said, our Guruji also maintains individuality. How did that happen?
Listen, I never said that one. They don't maintain any individuality.
Okay.
When you have faith in that name, the same all-pervaded ultimate truth can manifest in that individual form to bless you because of your faith like that. They all have become one. It is one single self that exists. Even
So all
Guruji,
this,
Mahavishnu, Shiva, any deity, they are all in one entity. They don't maintain any separate entities existing anywhere in the space. That is the truth.
and they're imaginary as well?
Nay, not imaginary. I won't tell that, because imaginary means you will take it as an ordinary thing. Because imagination, creativity is not an ordinary thing. It is your faith. When you visualize, that truth has the power to come and appear to you in a manifested form is possible. But for that, you have to do tapas. And you have to have a faith, and if you pray, your prayers can be answered, and you will think, hey, that form helped you. It is the same divine which will help you always. That is how it happens.
Okay. Thank you, Babaji.
Namaste, Babaji. Thank you
Yeah.
for your time. So my question is related to dreams. So I'm just wondering if it is related to the purity of our mind. So if we are having dreams, does it mean that our minds are not pure? Does it have any relation at all?
You see, only if your mind firmly believes that dream as a truth, then the mind is not pure. Even
Okay.
if the mind is pure, a dream might occur. But because that is the reflection of the brain's production of the brain, it produces a picture. The mind should not become a victim of that dream. Means if the mind is weak, you have not practiced meditation, then the mind believes that is wrong. Otherwise, mind can remain as a pure entity even if the brain reflects. Just like this world will exist when your mind becomes pure also. In its own way, the world will exist. But
Okay.
when your body goes, you will merge with the ultimate truth.
Okay. Thank you very much, Babaji. Thank you.
While doing meditation, I can see that there is no existence of me. But uh, when I go to office and start working there is strong identification with the body at that time.
Yeah, let it
So
happen
when I
forever. It's no problem. You don't worry and don't try to change this situation. When you practice meditation, slowly, naturally, the consciousness will pick up that. But if you try to do it by an imagination, you will do it wrongly. So if the consciousness comes to the body, let it be so that you can perform your duties in the office properly. And then when you come back, you practice meditation, it will be all right. In due course of time, you will be able to overcome that one.
Thank you, Babaji.
I asked you the questions before. Babaji, I have been trying to meditate with the same technique for almost 2 months. And I could slowly, when I do, I could feel some pressure here during meditation. And even after meditation, sometimes when I'm working, when I'm doing walking also, I could feel small pressure in that. I could feel a gentle pressure. It feels nice. Is it normal, or should I know how to
It
take
is
that?
normal, nothing to worry. Like a tingling type of sensation will happen that will help you to remain focused there. So let it be on its own if it is there. So whenever you sit down, your focus will be much better on that point. So it is good thing, no problem.